Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Lauren, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the recording of my live question and answer session from Instagram on Monday the 17th of October. I've got lots of questions that have been sent in beforehand that I'm going to be answering, sharing lots of sewing tips and giving pattern and fabric suggestions for definitely lots of autumnal and winter themed projects getting requested this week. I've got loads of beautiful fabrics out to show you that are all available in the online shop. I'll put a link to that in the description to this video. If you are watching on YouTube and you don't watch on Instagram, or maybe you're not on the Instagram platform and you want to ask me a question that I can answer next week for you, then please leave a comment on this video and I will include it on my list for next week. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the live recording. You will see me read the comments that are coming in during the live, just so you've got a bit of context of what's getting talked about. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Hi everyone, thanks for watching. If you're watching here on Instagram or maybe you're watching on YouTube, I've started to share the recordings of my lives on my YouTube channel as well. So if you can't ever watch live, then you can always catch up on my YouTube channel as well later. So all the past ones are saved there too, so it's quite an easy place to watch things back. I know it can sometimes be hard to watch things back from Instagram, but it's lovely to see you all on this Monday night. Hi everyone, hello, it's nice to see those regular people. Sometimes I don't always see the names of everybody who's joining, because it'll just give a few names and then it'll say like a number of other people joined. So if you want to say hi and like write a comment, then you can say hi as well. But it's really nice to see all of you. I didn't actually get as many questions as I normally do this week, and I was wondering whether maybe it was because I posted the little questions box on Sunday rather than on Saturday, and maybe like less people saw it. Who knows with Instagram who it shows to what. But thank you for everyone who has sent in questions. I should be able to get all of them answered tonight, and I seem to have like accumulated a complete bundle of fabric around here to show you. So I've got lots and lots of things to show you tonight, which will be good. So lots of inspiration, and there's definitely very strong autumn winter theme in the projects that have been getting requested. So if you do have any questions as I'm chatting along, as always, please feel free to ask. I'll try and keep up with them and answer them as I go along as best I can. If you aren't watching it live and you want to ask me a question that I can answer in another session, then please send me one either on Instagram, or you can leave a comment on YouTube as well, or you can email us with a question. It's always easier for me to know what the questions are beforehand, just because depending on what the question is, I might not know the answer off the top of my head, although I do try, but I don't always know. Maybe I can give a bit of a better answer sometimes if I know the question in advance. So yeah, please feel free to send in your questions in any way you want. Oh, somebody's asking, what Christmas presents are you going to sew? Do you know, I haven't even thought about it yet. Which is not something I would advocate. If you are going to sew your Christmas presents, you should probably start to know what they're going to be right now. Maybe you've planted the seed for me. I should probably try and think if I'm going to do that this year. I always have like grand plans, and then it kind of comes to like the 20th of December and I'm like, oh God. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. I did also share a new fabrics video last week, if you haven't seen that already, which showed lots of the new fabrics that have come in recently, but there are new ones that I've got to show you tonight which weren't in that video. And then also watch out this week, there's going to be more new fabrics on the website, some that have like a sort of party theme to them, and also lots more woolen fabrics as well that are suitable for like dresses, trousers, coats, jackets, blazers, that sort of thing as well. So I was thinking maybe I would do like a little sort of roundup video of wool fabrics that we've had in as well sort of some party ideas of, we've got sequins and that sort of thing that you could sew with. Okay, somebody else is asking, what brand of scissor sharpener do you use? I actually don't use one, because I use the Prim micro serration shears or scissors, and you can't sharpen them because they've got the micro serrations, basically like lots of teeny tiny little teeth on the blade, and you can't sharpen them because it affects the teeth basically. But they stay sharp. I've been using mine for years and years and years, and they stay sharp. I only very strictly only use them on fabric, and they'll be fine. but we do sell Fiskars scissor sharpeners in the shop, and they seem pretty popular. We sell quite a lot of them. Somebody's saying the new fabrics are lovely. The cat jersey has already sold out. Will you be getting any more? I will try to, but I don't know if we can get that one. I will try, but you can request a stock notification on the website now. When you use sequins, I actually have an older pair of fabric scissors which aren't that sharp. They're not as sharp as my micro serrations, and when I'm cutting out stuff like sequins, then I probably use my older ones, which are fine enough to cut out sequins, but they don't blunt my micro serration ones. What fabric would you recommend for a duffel coat that doesn't contain wool or other animal fibres? I would probably say you just need to look for something that's called a coating, and it's it'll be like a polyester coating. It's probably going to be best for that. Looking forward to the party fabrics, looking forward to a stretchy one for the sew over it Estelle dress. Sharpener when you use sequins. Yeah, hopefully I've answered that one before. Okay, so the new things that I did want to say and bring to your attention first of all is that the fabric that we included in the Page hoodie and the Plateau jogger kits, which were released in September, is now available to buy by the metre. So we have got so there's the plum, the teal, the pink and the denim. Don't know off the top of my head if we've got because there's 3 different fabrics in the Page hoodie, because there was the sweatshirting one, the jersey lining and then the cuffing. So I'm not 100% sure if we've got like each of the 3 fabrics of every colour way still in stock. We did have a bit of all of them to begin with, but I think some of them might sold out. Anyway, if we don't just request a stock notification, we'll be able to get a little bit more of that, but that's all online now as well. And then, okay, there's a few more comments on the duffel coat fabric that doesn't contain wool or any other animal fibres. You can get polyester boucle, so that's another good term to search, polyester boucle. I've just made a coat using vegan wool. Yeah, so some polyester wools might get called vegan wool because polyester is obviously synthetic, so it doesn't, if it's 100% polyester, then it won't contain any wool. Okay, the other new things that I wanted to show you were a couple of new viscose prints which weren't in the new fabrics videos. These are a little bit sort of heavier weight viscoses. I think they were called viscose poplins when they came in. Hold them up so that you can see while I check the tag. They're a stretch viscose, they've got a little bit of elastane. I think that's what it is that just makes them sort of feel like they've got a little bit more sort of thickness to them, but they still have that drape that you know, the nice drape and fluidity that you would want from a viscose. So a nice sort of greeny one, which is lovely, kind of abstract floral pattern. And then the same in another colourway, but I think this one's been pretty popular. We do have, I'm pretty sure we do have another bolt of it as well, on that lovely sort of kind of like a purpley background. It's really nice. And that's totally opaque as well. So it's just really versatile because tops, blouses, dresses, sort of like loose fitting jumpsuits even you could do with that. So that's that one. Then we have also had some of the new Fabric Godmother collection. So we've got 2 colourways of this print here. The rolls are very floppy, so I'm just going to be selective over what one I hold, so I can try and hold it up. So this one is the Jude Black Viscose Twill fabric. It's 100% viscose, but it's on a twill base cloth, so it's got that sort of subtle diagonal texture to it and a nice weight to it as well, a nice thickness, and really it drapes beautifully. I love the scale of this. I think it's really lovely and wintry and would look gorgeous as a dress or a blouse or a top. It's really nice. So this is, I guess this is kind of the warmer one because it's got the pink and then that's sort of like a dark, kind of aubergine colour, I guess. But then we've also got it on a green base as well. Let's see what I mean about the floppiness of this roll. Very floppy. So that's it on the green there, and it's got really nice blue flowers, blue and black flowers on that one. Then some of you might recognise this very popular print, which is now on a gorgeous, like really dark midnight background. It's one of those, I think it is navy, but it's one of those shades that is very, very dark navy, so possibly could even be interpreted as black in some lights, depending on how you look at it. But I think it gets called midnight, maybe? No, it does just get called navy. So it's a viscose fabric as well. It's Eco Vero crepe. And it's got a little bit of a texture to it. It's not totally flat like say a viscose lawn would be. So it's that really popular Joni print that you can definitely alternate the way that these stripes would sit on your garment. So you could have some pieces where they're vertically, some bits where they're horizontally, and just play with the stripes on that. Sorry, the phone, I don't know if you can hear that, the phone's ringing in the shop. It's never actually rang when I've done a live before. So weirdly it might go to answer phone now, and then you might hear my voice on the answer phone. Yes, it is going to answer phone. So yeah, that one's £28.20. And then this one that I absolutely love, I'm actually making something with this one at the moment. Let me just spin it round. It's a viscose as well, and it's on a crepe, but it's got a slightly different texture to that Joni one. This one is the Ziggy Ivory viscose fabric, so it's got a really beautiful star design on it. So yeah, you're gonna see this pop up on my Instagram feed this week, because I am making a blouse with it at the moment. Oh dear, the phone ringing again. This has literally never happened before in like the however many years I have done Instagram lives. The phone in the shop has never rang. And now it's rang twice. I hope they don't ring again. Okay, the next one is this one here, which sort of tells a little story and kind of sets a little scene. So this one is the Wild Swimwear Emerald viscose lawn. So it's quite a smooth surface to it because it's on a viscose lawn. And if I try and hold a little bit out, okay, so somebody's asking what's the difference between crepe and viscose. No, the difference isn't between those two. So you can get viscose crepe, you can get viscose lawn, you can get viscose twill. So the difference is the weave and the texture of the fabric. So the viscose twill has like the twill weave, which is like a sort of diagonal texture on it. The viscose crepe has kind of like a sort of raised texture a little bit. It's just kind of like very subtly, maybe like bumpy a little bit more. And then the viscose lawn is very smooth and flat because it's just like a regular plain weave fabric. So hopefully that clears it up, right? If I hold this back, you'll hopefully see the sort of thing that's happening here. So there's mountains and water and yeah, wild swimmers. Oh God, I've got a fabric avalanche happening here. I might have to possibly go and take the phone off the hook if it is going to continue to ring like this. Okay, so the last fabric godmother one that I have got is this one here. And it is the Scylla Multi Viscose Crepe fabric, and it's 100% viscose, and it's £16 a metre. So again, because it's viscose crepe, I think I'm going to have to take the phone off the hook. I'm not sure what's happened. Sorry about this, please bear with me. I'm sorry about that, everyone. I've never had to do that before. But nobody should call now. I have managed to quickly take it off the hook. Okay, so let me open this one out so that you can see the effect of this. This is definitely like sort of smaller scale, kind of more abstract design that's on it. And again, really nice. It's totally opaque, so you wouldn't need to line that or anything. And just a nice, lovely one for, yeah, nice dresses. That'll be my mother. She always calls at the worst times. I know, well, the thing that was like really weird was that the answer phone was saying when we were open, but then whether it was the same person or not, who knows. I feel like it would be a massive coincidence if lots of different people were phoning there, because literally no one has ever phoned when I've been doing a live before. Okay, let me just shove them back. And then what else was I going to show you that was new? This one here is also a new colourway of a fabric that we've had before. It's the mid blue rib knit blended fabric, and it's 15.70 a metre. So it's a mixture of viscose and polyester with a bit of elastane, but it's got a really lovely snuggly texture to it. There we go, hope you can see that. It's nice and stretchy. I've just run downstairs to answer the phone. Oh, did you think your phone was ringing? Sorry. Very confused. So this is going to be good for tops that are like a bit more fitted, like the Megan Nielsen Ribbon or the True Bias Nico. You could make cardigans with it as well. Helen's Closet Blackwood would be really nice. And somebody else has also asked me about fabric suggestions for the Nina Lee South Bank sweater as well, and I think it would be nice for that too. It's lovely and cozy. So yeah, this is the mid blue, and at the moment we do have it in a black and an ivory as well, and I'm waiting for the grey to come back in. I thought it was going to come in my last delivery, but it didn't. And then I've also got to show you, I'm just going to slide that one down there for now, a couple of new double gauze fabrics that are really nice. This is a sort of nice checked one, which would be good for a nice little shirt or a top. It's got a contrast check on the back, so that's a little bit more unusual. So that one is the navy check reversible cotton double gauze, and it's 15.60 a metre. And then this one's also a really nice sort of, I guess, more autumnal cotton gauze here. And I've not really seen one like this before, because it's sort of woven a bit like a chambray, so it's a mixture of grey threads and burgundy threads that's woven it, so it almost has like a two-tone colour appearance. So yeah, that's another one there. Let me read out what that one is for you. The Merlot Melange cotton double gauze, and it's 15.60 as well. Okay, somebody's asking what type of autumn dress would you recommend for the lovely viscose you showed previously. You could make the Tilly and the buttons indigo. I think that's a really nice one. It's quite versatile across the seasons. The Friday Pattern Company Davenport's nice as well. That would be nice in that one. Okay, and then we have also had, what else have I got here that's new? This is a nice pattern sweatshirting fabric that comes in 3 colourways. This is a really lovely yellowy one, so it's like fleece back sweatshirting. So this one is the Windflower fleece back sweatshirting. It's 16.50 a metre, so this is the mustard one. And then we've also got it on a grey and a mauve. So that's the grey and the mauve there. They're really nice. So all your classic jumper patterns would be good for that one. Okay, I think that was all the things that I wanted to show you. The rest are the things relating to questions that people have asked before. Okay, so the first question that was sent in beforehand was tips for setting in a sleeve without getting puckers or folds. So what I would suggest that you do here is make sure that you're putting in easing stitches into the sleeve head, even if it doesn't have gathers in it, and I think the main thing that you need to remember when you're setting in a sleeve is that you're making flat bits of fabric become 3D. So the way that you hold it and the way that you pin it, it can't, you need to kind of hold it up so that it can start to like form and take its shape. It's kind of like you're moulding the fabric. You can't really have it like flat on your surface as you're setting in a sleeve, unless you're setting in the sleeve flat, which I think is kind of like, let's just leave that to the side for right now, because if you've asked this question, you're probably setting sleeves in the round. So this is specifically about setting sleeves in the round. So yeah, you need to make sure that you've put a long stitch length on your machine, so like up to 5, say, if it goes to that. And then you'll sew in these easing stitches, which you will take out later. So you will you don't reverse at the start and end. You typically sew them between where the notches are at the front and back. And if I've got a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance or a 5/8 centimetre seam allowance, I always do 2 within the seam allowance and then 1 just a bit bigger than the seam allowance, so I'll have 3 lines. If the seam allowance is like a centimetre or half an inch, then sometimes I'll try and get away with just 1 line in the seam allowance and 1 line a little bit out. And then when you come to set the sleeve in, make sure you've got all your notches marked. and then you want to pull on just one side of those easing stitches, and you're not gathering the fabric, but what you'll see happens is it just starts to kind of come like pull together a little bit more. Then it's much easier to get the raw edges to sit together between the armhole opening and the sleeve head, and to pin everything in place. I always put my pins in at 90 degrees when I'm putting it in a sleeve, because it's a much more accurate way to pin, because you're like pinning like just at that specific point rather than pinning a bit wider. So yeah, I do have a video actually on my YouTube channel that is about setting in sleeves, so you can check that out as well, but I hope that gives you a few pointers to get started with. Okay, the next one was, do I need a special needle for my brother's sewing machine to sew faux leather? I would make sure that you use a Microtex, probably just because it's nice and sharp. From my experience, faux leather isn't usually particularly thick. But if it is, or if you're sewing through lots of layers, I mean, you could try a denim needle or even a leather needle if you wanted, but my feeling is that probably like an 80 or 90 Microtex needle would be fine. What you will need though is a Teflon foot, so you need to get that so that the machine can feed the fabric a little bit more and the foot doesn't get stuck to it. Then if you don't get a Teflon foot, then you can try Scotch tape as a sort of cheaper alternative. You can just literally stick Scotch tape onto the bottom of your normal foot, and I've tried that before and it worked okay for me, but it might depend on the specific fabric that you've got. Okay, Helen's saying that she found setting in a dry waxed cotton sleeve, hand basting it first before machine basting it helped. Yeah, I think if it's something like a dry waxed cotton, that sounds like quite a sort of stiff fabric to kind of work with. It might be hard to pin as well, in which case basting it is probably going to be easier because it might be harder to control with just pins. Okay, the next one was, what type of elastic should I use for PJs? So you can get elastic that is specifically labelled as pajama elastic, and basically it's just much softer. But what I personally find with that elastic is that it tends to buckle quite a lot, so it doesn't really like stay flat. It kind of like crumples a little bit, like really easily. So I actually prefer to just use regular elastic, and then you can get that in lots of different widths depending on what different patterns I guess will sort of call for different widths of elastic. So I guess if you were like particularly sensitive, you wanted something extra soft, then you could use the pajama elastic, but otherwise I would just use normal elastic. I wanted to ask if it would be okay to use a pajama pattern to make sweatpants just using the right fabric. Yeah, I think it would be. I think as long as the pajama pattern probably isn't like too full, otherwise it might just feel like you've got a lot of fabric there, but I mean, I can't see why not. It should be fine. Okay, the next one was, I have been forcing myself to do buttonholes after avoiding them. I finished the Anthea blouse, that's an Anna Allen pattern, and I managed to do them. Tips on how to mark the starting point for the buttonholes. So I suppose this is quite an open question. I'm not totally sure maybe where the difficulty's coming from here, but there's a few different kind of situations, I guess, that you could be in this situation where you're trying to mark the start of a buttonhole. So it might be that you are copying buttonhole markings from a pattern piece, and I always do that just as I'm about to sew the buttonholes. I never mark buttonholes just as I've cut out, because the chances are they're not really going to be in the right position by the time I've pressed it and sewn it and stitched it and all that sort of thing. So usually wait till right at the very end, like when the placket's made, like on this blouse for example, and then I'd mark the buttonholes. So it might be that you're just like lining that edge up with a pattern piece to sort of get the right height. Also, I think the other thing that really helps you when you do it right at the end is that you can then make sure you're getting it like in the middle as well, because like on here for example, you want the buttonhole to sit like in the middle of where that button stand is, but that might vary very slightly by the time you've actually all sewn it all compared to when you cut it out. So just, yeah, I guess the first tip is just wait till you're actually about to start sewing them, till you mark it on. If you're sort of making up your own spacing of buttonholes and you're not copying a pattern piece, then what I always do is I will work out where I want the top one to be, and and I will put a pin to mark that, and then I've got a 1-step buttonhole on my machine, so it means that when I put my button into my buttonhole foot, it tells me how big the buttonhole is going to be. So I'll usually like mark the start of where I want like the top one to be, which is usually dependent on where I want the blouse to like sit open, because I tend not to wear blouses with the button done up to the top. So I'll find out where I want the top one to be, and then I'll work out where the bottom one is, and then you kind of work out the difference in between. You know, you can work out the spacing between that. I don't know if we've got any in stock right now actually, but you can get us, why have I forgotten the name of it? I'm wanting to say Stretch Fix. What? Somebody will be able to tell me the name of this, you know, the thing with all the prongs and you pull it out and you retract it and it works out the spacing. I can't, the name of it is gone. Somebody will tell me. So you can get that as well. Simflex, there we go, thank you. So yeah, you can get a Simflex, which it's just like an expandable gauge, and it helps you to work out the spacing between your buttonholes, so you can use that as well. Okay, the next one was, do you ever buy clothes? You always look so lovely. Thank you, first of all. I do occasionally buy clothes, yes. Not that often, and usually they're like specific types of clothes, so I tend not to really make that many clothes for activewear. I don't know, I find it really hard to get nice fabrics for activewear for the shop and in general, and I quite just prefer the fabrics that I can get from Sweaty Betty. Sorry, I didn't really mean to give an advert for Sweaty Betty here, but I just like the fabrics in their exercise clothes, so I usually buy clothes from there. And I buy underwear, but I don't really buy any other clothes unless they're like in the sale, heavily discounted somewhere. I sometimes buy clothes from Boden because the quality of their clothes is really good, but I usually only buy stuff there if it's in the sale. But no, I don't very often buy clothes. But I guess, you know, I have made sewing part of my job, and I sew a lot. I also absolutely love it. So as well as doing it in my job, I do also do it in my spare time. So I do have a lot of sewing time in my life, which is why I can build up a lot of clothes to basically mean that I can just wear clothes that I've made all the time. So, you know, if you have like a life and a full-time job and other things going on, and you also sew, well done, because it is hard to find the time to do it. Okay, the next one was the best type of needle for oilskin. I think you could just try a few things and see what your machine is sort of handling. Some people say denim, some people say leather, some people say a regular needle should be fine as long as it's a sort of thicker one, so size 90 or 100. I haven't really sewed oilskin that much, to be honest, so I can't really claim to be an expert in that area, but I would just try some things out and see what your machine can handle. Okay, somebody's asking, could you explain the benefit of putting a row of easing stitches outside the seam allowance, please, as opposed to keeping them within the seam allowance? I just find that it helps you to control the fabric a little bit more, so that you've got the fabric is getting brought together and sort of moulded more by those stitches, just on either side of where you're sewing. And I just personally find that on more challenging fabrics, and also some patterns, it's just easier to set the sleeve in than others. Like some patterns have a lot of ease in the sleeve, which means that the sleeve head is just generally quite big, and it's like hard to fit it in without getting any gathers in it. In which case, you know, you like really need those 3 lines, but some, I guess maybe you could get away without it. If it depends on that's due to like the design and the drafting of the sleeves, so they can vary between patterns as well. I guess if you're generally finding it hard, it's useful to have it, but if you're quite nifty at setting in sleeves and you're good at controlling the fabric, you might only need 2. I've just bought some chrome needles to try for soft shell, so these might be a good bet. Yeah, worth a try, definitely. Okay, the next question was tips for organising your sewing space. I actually had a blog on this at the beginning of the year, on like just sort of sorting through all of your stuff. I think if you've got a dedicated sewing space and you want that you can kind of have your stuff, you know, like out, I guess, is that, you know, I think you're going to find it inspiring if you can see your things. So it might be that you can try to organize the fabric that you've got, so that you're either maybe like folding it or rolling it, so that you can sort of see it and it doesn't sort of get stuffed on top of each other and you forget what you've got. Or it might be that you can get a nice thread stand so you can display your threads, or maybe some like open shelving that you can display your patterns on. I think if you do have a sewing space that, you know, you can kind of be like a dedicated area and it's not like a shared dining room table or something where you have to pack everything away. It's nice if you can display your stuff, because I think it just makes it more inspiring. Okay, now onto the list of things that people were requesting in terms of fabric and patterns. I'm going to try and get through all of this and not cause any more fabric avalanches. All of that phone ringing at the start really put me off a little bit. Okay, so the first question was fabrics for the, I'm not going to say this right, I'm sorry guys, because it's French and I'm just not very good at pronouncing French stuff. Fabrics for the Cousette Feuillette Skirt. Sorry. I might actually add that to the caption on Instagram and on YouTube so that you can see how it's spelled. It's a French pattern, so that's quite niche. But it's basically a wrap skirt that kind of looked like it had pleats at the front. And from a quick look that I could have, it kind of looked like a cross between a sew over at Lizzie skirt and a sew over at Alba skirt. So the Alba's like a wrap skirt, the Lizzie's like a pleated skirt. And it recommends viscose and viscose crepe. So you could definitely use any of the viscose, the Fabric Godmother viscose fabrics that I showed at the start. Sorry that I didn't bring it over, but also what would look really nice is the new Josephine Fibre Mood fabric as well. It's like a really nice red floral fabric. Sorry, it's quite far away right now, so I can't actually show you that one. If you're looking for something plain, then we do also have a range of viscose linens, which would look really nice. Or the smooth drape tencel twill, which I do have out somewhere, would also be nice as well. It's got a lot of fluidity and drape, and it's it's plain as well, so that could be another option. Okay, the next one was cuff material to go with the grey, dandelion and the Dalmatian fabric. So that is some new sort of novelty sweatshirtings that we have had in. So if I just try and lift them up to show you. So that's the Dalmatian one there, which is cute. And then these are, that's the dandelion line one, and then that's the line one there. So they're all fleece back sweatshirting. They're really lovely and soft. And looking at the cuffing that we had, all of the pinks weren't quite right. So I would say probably this is actually the Atelier Brunette cuffing. It's the off-white Atelier Brunette cotton ribbing fabric, and it's $16.50 a metre. It's quite wide, it's wider than our normal one, so that tones in quite nicely. Otherwise, this is the sort of off-white cuffing here. Or remember, you can just use self fabric, so you can use the same fabric to make the cuffs and the neckbands and everything as well. But yes, sometimes when it's like a specific colour like pink, it can be hard to get like the exact right shade of matching pink. Okay, the next one was fabric for the Fibre Mood Dina dress, which kind of looked like a sort of quite a straight shift dress, but it had these kind of big pleated sleeves. Looked really cool with like a little cuff. So sort of statement sleeves, but then quite a simple kind of bodice. And then the pictures actually looked like it'd been made, the samples had been made with cord, quite a thick cord as well. So I've got a few cord options to show you. There's the tag for this one. This is the forest green cotton corduroy fabric. It's actually got a little bit of elastane in it, but this sort of looked like the same thickness that was in the sample in the picture that I could find. And then similar colour, but it's got like a nice little sort of black spot on it. So this is the olive dotty cotton corduroy. This one doesn't have stretch though, it's 100% cotton. But I think it would be fine as well. And then we've got the same as the one before, but also in a navy. And then in a sort of finer cord, so maybe if you didn't want one as chunky as that, we've also got this one, which comes in two colourways. This is the denim stretch baby cord fabric, and it's cotton, 70% cotton, 28 polyester and 2% elastane. It's $18.60 a metre, and it comes in a darker shade as well. And I think it's got quite a lot of structure. I guess the idea is that you want something that's quite thick, so it sort of holds the shape of that statement sleeve with that one. The next one was plain fabric for the closet core sashas, which are those just sort of classic chino pattern. So we've got a few different options here that I brought over. This one here is the bay leaf stretch tencel denim fabric, which I think would be nice for it, and it's got a nice bit of stretch in it as well, so that's a nice plain one. Then we have also got this one here, which is the dark graphite stretch cotton. It's £10.50 a metre, and it's just got a really lovely sort of nice structure and feel to it, and yeah, just a nice sort of dark classic grey. So you can't really go wrong with that if you're looking for a plain colour. Then we do have a range of stretch cotton fabrics. This one is the deep green, and it's £12.50 a metre. So this is just kind of like, I guess, sort of like bog standard stretch cotton 12 fabric. So yeah, some nice colours in that. That's the forest green, but we do have lots of other colourways as well. And then this one is plain, but it's a bit different because it's got a nice texture. So it's this one here, which is the oregano textured stretch cotton fabric, and it's £12.90 a metre, and it's just got this really lovely sort of like honeycomb texture on it, but obviously it's a plain colour. So lots of nice options there. Somebody's saying I've just got some stretch baby cord for the sashas. They'll look nice, that'll be very smart. Okay, the next one was fabric for the Sew Over It Estelle dress. So that's their new one that's got quite a sort of simple kind of wider neckline, and then a really lovely kind of tie detail at the side. So it's a stretch pattern. I've got a few different options for you. This one is the Forest Pine Viscose Blended Jersey fabric. It's £11.90 a metre, and it does come in other colourways as well. And it's almost sort of marled a little bit, so it's not a totally solid colour. It's just got a little bit more texture to it, and you can see the drape on that. I think with that sort of tie bit, you don't want anything that's going to be like too thick or bulky there, but that would drape really nicely. And then the other option would be, again, this comes in lots of colours as well. This is the dark orchid tencel medal jersey, and it's £15 a metre. And it's really lovely and sort of slinky and soft and drapey as well, so you can see the nice movement on that as well. So a few options there, I guess, kind of similar in terms of what type of fabric you would use. Somebody also asked for the named kilo dress. Again, I don't think I'm saying that right either. Hopefully you know what one I mean. It's the one that's really wide and then it kind of wraps round, specifically in autumn colours was requested here. There are lots of colours of this, so you might find some autumn colourways in that, and I did have a few more. Where have they gone that I thought would be good for that wrap dress? I've got this one here. I guess this would be good for the Estelle as well. This one is the Purple Berry Cotton Medal French Terry, so it's 48 cotton, 48 medal, and it's £18.90 a metre, and it's just got this really lovely print on it. This comes in another colourway as well. And then this one here, which I thought was quite autumnal. So again, this could be for the Sew Over It Estelle or the Kilo wrap dress. It's the Amber Scattered Seeds Cotton Medal jersey, and it's £16.80 a metre. So yeah, it's not floral, it's just got like a nice little sort of seed kind of print on it, which is nice, but and that nice sort of warm, lovely warm autumn colour, nice and drapey as well. So a few options for those two patterns there that are both for stretch fabric. The next one is, when will the velour fabric be in stock? It is in stock just now, it's not online at the moment. It should go, what day is it, Monday today? It should go online tomorrow. If not, it'll be Wednesday, so not too much longer to wait for that. Then the next one was, can you use the Atelier Brunette Sandstorm for the Earlsworth shirt? So that's the Merchant and Mills Earlsworth shirt that we have got in a kit at the moment. And this is the Atelier Brunette Sandstorm. Yes, you can definitely use it. You can use lots of different fabrics to make the Ellsworth, and any type of viscose is going to be fine for it. It was viscose that we included in the kit, but yeah, yes is the answer to that question. The next one was simple top patterns for viscose prints. I'm not keen on frills or flounces. The Forget Me Not Patterns Lola top is quite a nice one. it's just like a plain, like grown on sleeve at the front, and the back has got a yoke at the top with a little centre at back pleat, and it does have a frill that you can put in between that, but you can definitely just leave that off and it's more simple and then not frilly, and it's really nice. I think it's nice if you've got something that's where you like really want to show off the print of a fabric because it's so simple. The other one that I made that's really simple is the Fibre Mood Tanita, but I don't know whether maybe it's a bit flouncy because it's quite bat-wingy sleeves. Maybe that would be too flouncy for you. The other patterns that I brought over though were the Megan Nielsen Olive, which is quite nice and straight. It's quite simple. Then this one as well. I've made if you ignore the bigger sleeve there, I've made that version in a viscose before and it looked really nice. The assembly line cuff top's another simple one that you could use viscose for, but again, I don't know, maybe the sleeves would be too flouncy for you, but a few options there. What other one have I got? Then that one, that's just quite a simple sort of simple tee that you could use viscose for that too. Okay, the next question was a pattern for a lined cardigan that I could line with fur or teddy fabric. So I don't know if you're actually going to find a pattern for a lined cardigan. I think you're going to have to just either use a cardigan pattern and then add a lining to it, or you're going to have to use like a simple lined jacket pattern, but then make it have more cardigan vibes through what fabrics you choose. So my two suggestions would be is that either you could use the Megan Nielsen Hovea pattern, which has got various different options and also comes lined, so then it means you could actually follow instructions for something that's lined if you wanted to do that. The other option that you could do is, I think that the True Bias Marlowe cardigan would be quite easy to line, because all you would need to do is cut out the front and back bodice and the sleeve pieces in your lining fabric, and then you would just catch the seam allowances of that when you attach the neck band and the cuffs and the bottom band on. You would just sort of catch the lining in when you sort of sew them on. So that would be my suggestions there. I've had a few comments here, let me see so I don't miss them. Will you get the fur lined corduroy and rust back in stock? I think we are, yes. We've ordered some. We do have quite a lot of people waiting for it though, so it's best if you sign up for the stock notification on the website. Okay, also the Sew Over It Esma dress, which asks for viscose jersey. Yeah, so any of those other jerseys that I showed before would work if it says viscose jersey. Have you any suggestions for fabric for men's trousers? I think something cotton rather than technical. It would be for the Fairfields, which are informal rather than formal suit trousers. So I do actually have coming in stock of the fabric that we included in October's kit for the Philippa pants or trousers, which is just like a really, really nice weight of non-stretch cotton twill fabric, and it's kind of got like a brushed feeling to it really. So I've got navy and black and stone. I've got more of that coming. So it's not online just now, but you can email us about it and we'll let you know when it's back again. Please can you give blouse ideas for the Liberty Tana for Christmas, please? I'm actually thinking about making the Avid Seamstress the blouse, because I think it's just really simple and would show off the print really nicely. Another like more old school one, which you would have to get the PDF for as well, but I have made loads of them in cotton lawn before. It's the Dean and Doe Mellow shirt as well. It looks nice in cotton lawn. I'm sure there are others too. You can make the Friday Pattern Company Wilder gown as a top for viscose. Yeah, that's a good idea. The T&B Marnie blouse would be lovely in Liberty. That sounds good. Hello from Canada. Okay, right. The next question was fabrics for the Nina Lee South Bank dress. So I did mention that before as well, didn't I? I can't remember what it was in context of now. But the two that I brought over that would be nice ones, if you're looking for something plain, the loop back jersey fabric, which is a modal fabric, and it's basically like a French terry, so it's like a loop back fabric. And it's got a really nice thickness to it, but it's quite floppy as well, so it's not too stiff, it doesn't hold its shape, and I think that would be really, I've made a dress out of this before, not the Nina Lee South Bank, but I think it would look nice as that. The other option would be our range of cozy colours, which comes in loads of different colours. I've just brought out one of the new colours here just now, which is the rose. But it's like a classic range really, and it's good for all sorts of jumper patterns, including the Nina Lee South Bank. Okay, the next one was flannel fabrics for men's shirt. So I brought out some of our Robert Kaufman flannels here. Gosh, there's a siren now. All the background noises are happening tonight. So this one is the Robert Kaufman Redwood Shetland flannel cotton fabric. So it's red and black, and it's got like a really nice sort of herringbone texture to it, and because it's flannel, it's got that lovely cozy brushed feeling. And then also the same type of fabric, but this is in a blue colourway, so this one's the indigo one. So that would be another nice option. And then I also got a couple of checks that I thought would be, could be like either male or female really. So this one's red and navy check cotton flannel, and then we've also got the indigo and red check cotton flannel. So that's those two there. Hopefully you can see them, so they'd be nice too. And then the last one, which is maybe like a little bit more out there, it's this kind of flecked one, which we do have and a couple of other colourways as well. It's a Robert Kaufman one again. It's the navy speckle Shetland flannel cotton fabric, 18.50 a metre. So a few nice options there that are all like sort of soft and fluffy and furry. Sorry I missed the beginning. Would the velour fabric be okay for the sew over at Georgie dress? I don't actually know what the Georgie dress is off the top of my head, but the velour fabric that we've got coming in is stretchy, so if the Georgie's for stretchy fabric, then yeah, it's probably fine. Do those checkered cotton flannels work for pyjamas? Absolutely, yes, they would. Definitely, they'd be really nice and cozy. Okay, the next one was fabric suggestions for the Sew House 7 Rome dress. So this is, it's got like quite a simple dress, raglan sleeves, centre front seam with a little sort of eyelet opening, sleeves that are then kind of gathered at the bottom, so a little bit balloony, and then like a gathered skirt section. And I think you could use loads of different things for this. The viscose linen that we've got would be nice. The smooth straight tensile twill, again, if you wanted a plain, that comes in lots of different colours. I showed you that before. Or also any of the viscose prints, any of the Fabric Godmother ones. We do loads of other viscose prints as well, so they would all be really nice too. And I think they would be, be nice and swishy in the gathered section of the dress. The next one was fabric for cozy pyjama trousers suitable for adults and children. So I think here you could either go, if you wanted something to be super cozy, you could either go sweatshirting fabric, so like that range of cozy colours that I showed you before, which comes in so many different colours, so that would be good. And you could use something like the True Buys Hudson jogging bottoms to be pyjama bottoms, and they do a men's version, a ladies version and a kids version as well. Or you could go for the cotton flannel that I was just showing before, so a few different options there. Okay, the next one was which fabrics for the grain line jacket with a bit of give. The pattern, the grain line Tamarack, doesn't really say that you need to have a bit of give in it, so I wasn't totally sure why there was a specification for give. But I would say you could go for the, where did I put it? We've got a range of like plain cotton twill fabrics. Here it is. I brought the rust one over. So you could use that. That comes in lots of plains. That would be nice. The other range that you could use as well is, I don't know if you can see it, I'm gonna like angle the camera a little bit. the Megan Nielsen Hovia that we used, that we made for the window, it's using the 7 berry cotton indigo prints that have got like really nice designs on them, and that's a quilted jacket as well, as is the tamarack, so you could definitely use that too. So yeah, there's a few options there. Okay, the next one was pattern and fabric choice for smart black trousers. So you could, I would say the sash is quite a classic smart black one. I don't know if we've got any in stock right this second, but the stretch, just like the plain stretch cotton twill that we have, the one that I showed in green, it does come in a black as well. So it's, yeah, it's the stretch cotton twill fabric. It comes in a black, so that could work. The other one that I was thinking was something that's a little bit looser. I don't know if it has to be a specific style of smart trousers, but the Avid Seamstress culottes look quite smart. I think the Eve trousers could be smart as well, and in the right kind of fabric. And I did bring over a couple of black smart fabrics that would be nice. The new Closet Core Mitchell trousers is another one that's really smart too. So this one here is the Night Twill Weave wool fabric, so it's 100% wool, so it would be nice and warm as well. It doesn't feel scratchy or itchy at all. It feels really nice. So they would look really smart. And then this other one is also a wool as well. This is the black twill wool fabric, and it's £18 a metre. This might not actually be online yet. It might be one of the new ones. Oh no, a few people have bought it. It must be online. So that they would be nice and warm as well. That's a little bit thicker than the other wool fabric. So a few options there for you for your smart black trousers. The next one was, can you show the winter floral viscose poplin held up as a big piece? Sure thing. Here it is here. So it's quite a small scale print. It's £9.90 a metre. We did have this on a twill, a viscose twill, but then the supplier ran out, they didn't have any more, but they had the same print on like a plain weave fabric. So yeah, exactly the same print, just a different base cloth, but that's it on a larger scale. So hopefully that gives you the context that you're looking for. The next one was quilting wadding for jacket making. So when I made that Megan Nielsen Hovia that's in the window, I used the cotton wadding that we have got, which is just like normal quilting wadding, and I thought it worked really well. I was using it with cotton fabric, so I think it just made the whole thing kind of feel a little bit nicer and made it nice and breathable while it's still cozy. But I guess if you definitely can buy like quilted puffer jackets that have just got polyester wadding in the middle, so you can use that as well. Could you use those wools for the blazer pattern? Yes, I think you could. Okay, the next one was jeans pattern for a straight leg non-stretch. I would say definitely the Megan Nielsen Dawns. I've made quite a few of them. And then the last one that I've got here is a men's sweatshirt pattern and fabric. So the I Am patterns, that's the pattern company range, I Am patterns, they're a French company. They've got a jumper called the Apollon, which is like classic men's sweatshirt pattern. And also if you have, the other one that I found was, it's another siren, all happening tonight, was the Wardrobe by Me range. They had quite a lot of different men's things, quite a lot of different sort of jumper, hoodie, zippy things, so a few options there. And the cozy colours would be really good for that. You know, it comes in so many colours, from like greys to black and navy and colours as well, you know, if you want that. So I think that is a good option there. So if anybody's got any other questions, do let me know now, and I'll just check I haven't missed any others here. Are you getting any viscose sateen in, please, not fabric godmother ones? I don't think we do have any. I don't see them very often. They're more expensive to produce, the viscose sateens, so they tend to not be as common as like other types of viscose fabric. But I don't think I've got any others, sorry, other than the fabric godmother ones. Okay, I think that's me caught up with all the questions, but if anybody does have any more, then do let me know. Remember, I am recording this, so I'll be putting it on my YouTube channel as well, so if you sort of joined partway through or whatever, then you can always catch up there. Do you have any plain black viscose jersey for a wrap? Also, could I see the navy/green raincoat fabric? No problem if it's too far away. I think it might be quite buried because I've got a feeling that it's in the sale and all the sale stuff's kind of tucked away at the moment. But if you send me a direct message afterwards, then I can take a little picture and do like a little video of it and show you it on there if that's going to be helpful. But in terms of the plain black viscose jersey, I don't know if I've got any right now, but we're about to order where I get the Tencel viscose jersey from. We can definitely add a black onto that. So yeah, the ribbed blue effect fabric from earlier, what is the recovery like? I think that was this one that you're probably meaning. I think the recovery is quite good, but I'll stretch a bit out and then you can see. So I would say like stretch it and let it go, and then I would say it's pinged back quite a lot. I mean, I've not actually made anything with it yet to wear it and then see what the recovery's like, but just like on the face of it, I would say the recovery's pretty good. Okay, so thanks so much for watching, everyone. And yeah, things to watch out for this week. More new fabrics going online and more kind of sparkly things, and then the kind of party stretch velvety velour fabrics, they'll be going online as well. And don't forget to make use of the stock notification service that we've got, because it helps us to know how much of a fabric to order when we order it. So it's good if you can register on there, but if you're getting confused or you don't know how to do it, do just email us and we can help you with that. Would it be good for the Nico dress? This one? Yeah, it would. I think it would be nice. Thank you, Fab, as always. Thank you. Okay, lovely. Thank you for your thanks, everyone, and choosing to spend your Monday evening with me. And don't forget to send me your questions, but I'll put another question box up next weekend as well. And yeah, have a good week, everyone. Find time for sewing. I will be trying my best to do so. Yeah, I'm making a blouse at the moment with that new Fabric Godmother one, so I cut it out today and I made a little reel, so I'll start trickling you things of that. Any sewing society tips? I think maybe you mean hints. I'll think of some good ones for next week, because I can't think of any right now. You know, I don't like to give too much away ahead of time. I'm assuming stretch velvet would work for the new Estelle dress. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would. I don't know how important it is to have 4-way stretch, because I've got a feeling that the stretch velvet might only have a 2-way stretch. That's the only thing, but I think it should be fine. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good week and I'll see you soon. Bye.